Every clip on this video has been produced and or sent out by Penny aka Peyton Vanest on TikTok. This was made only to make this information more accessible to other platforms. His account has much more on this situation than I do.
All evidence being used in this video against any person or entity has been backed up by first-hand accounts, second-hand accounts, and screenshots, so you can put your lawyers away. You're not getting me this time. And with that out of the way, what the fuck happened with the Unfuck America tour, you might be asking, because I've gotten a million DMs about it, because nobody's story is matching up except for mine, and things keep getting weirder. But don't worry, I have all the answers to all of your questions, and I've broken them down into 5 categories. Number 1, which creators are lying? Number 2, where is the money? Number 3, why does this matter? And number 4, how do we continue? All wrapped around this woman, Elizabeth Z. Cohen Sanchez. But we'll get to you in a second, Lizzie. First, we're going to talk about these creators because most of the confusion being caused right now is by them blatantly lying. These are the creators we'll be talking about, and I want to start with Andra because I want to start with Andra. So this is Andra. You might have seen Andra on your For You page. She's the one that talks like this out of the side of her mouth so that people won't hear her lying all the fucking time. And we're starting with Andra for a very specific reason. I'll get to it in a second. First, let's hear her response video to this entire Z being racist situation.
If you're not familiar with what happened, I'll explain. The National Ground Game PAC started a group called Unf America, in which Dean Withers and Parker were headlining, and we were going to go and debate Charlie Kirk on college campuses. I was very excited about this because combating red pill, misinformation, pipeline stuff is very important to me, and that's kind of what the whole thing was about. So I signed on immediately, and then apparently our organizer, Z, joined a panel full of black women and said a lot of microaggressive and racist comments. And that's what it was. Point blank, no excusing it. And I want to be clear, I don't support any of that. What she said was messed up. And the second I found out about it, I voiced my opinion in our group chat strongly. In fact, I started a lot of fights about it. Because if you know me, the last thing I'm going to do is bite my tongue unless I'm literally so sick in bed that I cannot take a phone call.
Okay, she was sick. That's why she couldn't respond. But of course, she hates Z. She hates all of the things that Z did. And oh, you bald-faced liar, you racist little fuck. You were there during the live, and when Z was on the live, and after Z got off the live. You were on your spam account trolling them. You were saying that black women on that live were miserable, that they were just attacking Z to attack her, that they were just yapping to yap. And later on, you were talking about how you were losing mutuals because you weren't speaking out about this situation. And you most definitely did not immediately get mad at Z and tell her to fuck off and you know what? I'm gonna say it, racism's bad. That's not you. That's not what you did. I can say for damn sure there was nowhere in those signal chats that night where you were like, hey Z, that was racist, or hey guys, that wasn't cool. No, and you all heard her. Apparently our organizer Z hopped on a live with a panel full of black women and said some microaggressive and racist things. And that's what they were. That full stop, period. You do support it. You did. You supported it. You were there supporting her.
The second I found out about it, I voiced my opinion in our group chat strongly.
Well, hey, you were voicing your opinion very strongly. It's just not the opinion you were implying, but still strongly nonetheless.
Because if you know me, the last thing I'm going to do is bite my tongue unless I'm literally so sick in bed that I cannot take a phone call.
I guess we could see this as biting your tongue, but you were okay with all of it. You didn't care about any of this shit. Now, Andra, I don't want any excuse for you to try and report my video. So, I'm just gonna say, you have some growing to do. I don't think we should be entrusting you with the platform right now. Next up, we have Off Jawagon. A lot of you guys correctly assumed he was the person that sent me these DMs from that previous video. And what was his story again?
I want to be very clear that I and the majority of people who joined this fight did so because we are fighting for equality, whether it's class equality, gender equality, marriage equality, and definitely racial equality. So when there's allegations of racist comments against an organizer in the group that I was a part of, I had some concerns. I was not present for any of these comments. I did not understand the context of any of these comments, and I'd gotten a dozen conflicting stories from a dozen different people because, you know, it's the fucking internet.
So he wasn't present for any of these comments. He got conflicting stories. You know, what's a guy supposed to do? Oh. That's a pretty distinct name. Okay, Peyton, so he's lying to his audience like the rest of these people are. Who cares? What's the big deal? Well, believe it or not, later on in that video, this dipshit made a crucial error on behalf of himself and all of his creator buddies who are trying to lie to you right now. Let's take a listen and then I'll explain.
What I did is I went and met up in person with a couple of people of color who were involved, a couple of who were present and did understand the context of those comments. And I asked them, where are you at on this and what do you need from me? And they said they were excited to move forward. They were still in support of the mission and the organization. And at this point, that's all. I was like, cool, if you guys are in, I'm in. If you're out, I'm out. Where you guys go, I follow. I am here to support this mission. And that's what I did. I'm proud of that. I'm proud of the mission. I'm proud of the work we accomplished. And I'm proud of the vast majority of people I got to do that with. However, another pasty-ass creator decided to go a different route and make videos exploiting the issue for views and clout. And he did this despite being told by numerous people of color involved that they did not want him doing this. They did not want him speaking for them and that his actions were making them feel incredibly uncomfortable.
So he obviously didn't catch what he did. A lot of you probably didn't either. Some of you might have, but I'll break it down. So what he's trying to do here is perpetuate the narrative that I made people of color on the tour feel uncomfortable. But he's doing it differently than some people are. Some people are saying that it was after my second video that I made them uncomfortable. But obviously before my second video is when these messages were shared between him and I. He even said it himself.
I followed that person immediately after realizing that they were willing to exploit marginalized groups for their own gain, and they reached out to me. And he's like, dude, I hope we can still be friends. He was trying to defend his actions, and while I was sitting next to two people of color who were involved with the whole thing, who had literally just told me that they were feeling uncomfortable and unsafe because of his actions, and that they were being harassed and having slurs I can't repeat hurled at them online because of his videos, I told him that he needed to stop, that if he really cared about the things that he was pretending to care about, this was not it.
But it seems like he's also trying to say that people of color felt uncomfortable by me before I even made my first video. They were telling me not to do my first video, but that's not the case, and that video wasn't about anyone who was on the tour. So why are they lying about this? It's because they're all following the playbook that Brandon and Z set up. See, after I made my video, they actually deactivated the Signal group chat for a little while, right? None of the influencers were allowed in there. They just had a staff meeting, right? And Brandon's telling everybody, listen, I've worked in PR crisis management for 7 years. I've got this. Nobody say anything. Let me handle this. And then he calls me. If you go back, don't even think about Z. Listen to the first half of that phone call, and it seems like I did something wrong that's getting me kicked off the tour. And Z's first message to me after my video was, have you returned the car we paid for? And at first I thought it was like a narcissistic thing, which it is, obviously, because it's Z, but it makes a lot more sense in the context of them acting as if we've already had a conversation and they're kicking me off the tour for my behavior. And just for good measure, here's some of the scripts they came up with for their little plan. So everyone, I would like to extend a thank you to Off Your Wagon for being dumb enough to do this. These are just miscellaneous pieces of shit. I've never seen their content personally. I just know about their whole interactions with this tour and with this situation, and they are garbage. Hey Dean, I know we've talked before, but you've got a lot of explaining to do. See, I know a secret you've been keeping. You betrayed the creators on this tour and your audience who donated to this tour because you knew about Z a week before that live even happened. Note the time and date of the first message, and here's a screen recording of all of the messages, and you can see that Dean absolutely saw these. He was told that Z doesn't like paying her employees a week before this live even happened, and he didn't tell any of us creators. I was still on the tour. I hadn't been kicked off. Didn't hear a goddamn thing about this, Dean. And then come to find out, you were partying with Z at Texas A&M after everything went down. Or when you said you were all torn up after the live, but you really knew that you needed to be there for your fans, you lying bitch. So just to be clear, you knew about her deceptive business practices beforehand and decided not to say anything to your audience who kept donating to the Unfuck America tour, and not to say anything to the creators who were professionally linked to her. But no harm, no foul. It's not like any money went missing, right? Did somebody say money? I know everyone has heard by now that the creators are not getting the money they were promised, and $100,000 seemingly vanished into thin air. But I think I know exactly where it went, right into Zico and Sanchez's pocket. These are screenshots from the FEC's website for the National Ground Game campaign, and you'll notice there's $95,000 sent to a company called Soul Strategies. Well, that seems like a lot of money, Peyton, but why is that so weird? Well, guess who the founder and owner of Soul Strategies is? If you guessed our girl Z, you would be right, except for between 2020 and 2023 when she was pretending it was a black-owned business while giving a black woman only 15% of the company and making her do all of the work while calling her lazy and a piece of shit. So if you're following me here, Zico and Sanchez from the National Ground Game Pack, we know Z, she gave Zico and Sanchez of Soul Strategies, I think you guys know her, $95,000 for voter registration efforts. Me personally, $95,000 is an insane amount of money to spend on voter registration efforts from a company that was sued for fraudulent voter registration efforts. But I guess when you're the sender and the receiver, you can kind of make up your own rules. I also found money being sent to places like this, with websites like this. Can somebody spell money laundering? And if that wasn't enough for you, I have unequivocal proof of her engaging in illegal activities just this morning. This email was sent this morning to someone who works for Z, who was supposed to be paid on Friday, still hadn't been paid, reached out to them, and they said, you have to sign an NDA to get the pay that you're owed. Hey, that's fucking illegal. That's really fucking illegal. Even if she doesn't go through with this, that's incredibly illegal. You can't tell someone they have to sign an NDA to get the pay they're owed. Cherry on top, obviously she's a flaming fucking racist, and most of us in the know already fucking knew that, but here's her being a piece of shit otherwise. I do know a lot more, but I'm not gonna give you it, obviously, because where's the fun in that? All I can say is, you are fucked, and anybody who helped you, Dean, is fucked as well. You knowingly defrauded the creators on the tour and their audiences who continue donating to the tour. Why does this matter? The rest of this video is going to be freeform, and I'm going to tell you guys right now, I'm pretty fucking pissed. Because even if I want to believe that I went about it the wrong way, and that's why you guys treated me the way that you did, why the fuck did you treat these women the way you did? You know, those black women from that live that Z was incredibly racist on, that you guys were ha-ha and laughing about? But even after coming out and saying like, hey, she did behave in a microaggressive and racist way in political talk, you still wouldn't let them up on your live. What the fuck? You know, when you're apologizing for how you handled the situation that was directly involving them and the aggression towards them. Really weird you didn't want them up on your live. That's insane. It's almost like none of you guys fucking care about the shit that you claim to care about. And I'm talking about everyone on the tour, but specifically the white creators, the ones that love to fucking virtue signal and be like, and that's something I don't stand for, but I stood for it and I was egging it on. And on that sentiment, to those of you entering the comment sections of the black creators who were on this trip using my name to justify you berating them, shut your fucking mouths. You don't speak for me. That's not what I'm about. I know they're lying. I don't fucking care. Focus your time and energy on not only following these creators right here, and making sure you're unfollowing these creators right here, these creators. You cannot be following these people. They are fucking liars. They will blatantly lie to cover their asses to make more money. They cannot be trusted. Fuck these people. And how do we continue? Well, first it starts with not letting these fucking people in these goddamn spaces. Stop letting the Deans, the Parkers, the Z's, the Andras, the XY white person lead these movements. Especially when they know fuck all about organizing and fuck all about these situations. They're just there for fucking money and to be debate bros. Fucking kick them to the curb. They're counter to the movement at this point. And I say counter to the movement because the movement is progress. And silencing these voices and saying it's trivial and saying that we're focused on the mission at hand. How can we fight fascism and also fight racism? They're the same fucking thing. The reason they act so fucking obtuse in any situation like this is because they know if they have to stop for even a second to deconstruct, they will start losing money. Very quickly, they will learn that they don't know fucking anything. And they'll have to take a back seat to voices like these. It's always about fucking money with these people. You know what? Actually, fuck it. I'm just gonna speak candidly for a second. Fuck all of these people. Like, actually, I swear to God, these people are fucking evil. They only care about money. It does not matter. Their bottom line is what matters. Sure, they're not going to take money from Charlie Kirk, but hey, a racist like Z, I mean, she says she's for the cause, so like, and here we are. Oh, this is trivial bullshit. What? She said a couple microaggressions. What? Micro, by the way. No, she was a fucking racist piece of shit on that live. That's what she was, and none of you wanted to call it out. I actually don't give a fuck anymore. You guys are sad, dude. All of you people are sad. You can't make money without the racist? Is that what it is? Obviously, I know your platforms shrivel and die if the Conservative Party does, but I mean, like, you can't find a different, like, liberal white woman, right? Like, you can't find someone else. You had to try and cover it up. You had to try and lie. But the only reason you were acting that way was to try and cover your guys' ass and use me as a scapegoat. And hey, look at how well that did you. All of you are fucking sad and don't deserve these goddamn platforms. Fuck you.